Right, 11 April 2020, and I'm back with Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, spokesman for MDC President Dr. Thokozani Khuphe. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How are you, sir? And your
Fantastic.
listeners?
Yes, thank you very much. I want to go straight into the issue that we're discussing today. There's been allegations that Dr. Khuphe was provided with police protection. This was circulating today. Is that true?
Well, I appreciate that the authors of that malicious article, their real intent is to understand the security arrangements of Dr. Khuphe, and we will not fall into their traps. The truth of the matter is that, as our SG said it, you don't all of a sudden become ZANU because you have differed and you have won a legal court case, fair and square. So the security arrangements of Dr. Khuphe will not be discussed with the general public. I think we saw what happened in Buera. I think we saw what happened in Bulawayo. I think we've seen what happened in different areas where she has been, where hooligans have been let loose. Everyone knows that there's a paramilitary that is being run by certain politicians that has been let loose on those who differ with them. Violence has been their means of political mobilization, coupled in with tribalism and sexism. So we will not discuss that. Suffice to say, Dr. Khuphe's security is strong from the MDCT, and to the extent that that security is not sufficient, of course, as any other citizen of Zimbabwe, the state has a duty to secure rights to freedom and bodily integrity. But let's not forget again that we are talking of a former deputy prime minister here. So we will not discuss the details of her security, but her security is up to the standard.
Okay, so let me go a bit into that. Does the former vice president of a country have security from her position in the past?
That you then have to ask the state itself. Because if I were to go deeper into your question, I will then unwittingly begin to speak to the personal security issues, not only of Dr. Khuphe, but of many other former high-ranking officials of our country. And as I've said, I don't want to do that. But the intent of that malicious circular was to say she is working with the state to nefariously take over a position which she does not deserve. But the courts have determined that, and that she deserved that. Instead, the ones who had self-appointed themselves violently, so if I may repeat, are the ones who are trying to defeat the end of justice.
Okay, then I want to go to the next question. Is Dr. Khuphe going to take the position of official opposition leader, which was offered to Nelson Chamisa and he declined it?
Well, I'm not sure if she has to be offered that position, considering that she is the official opposition leader. She is that official opposition leader. She was the opposition leader in parliament before she was unlawfully removed by Chamisa. And the issue went to courts, and the court made a judgment that the issue is locally moot. In other words, it has been overtaken by events, but the judgment on the 31st has actually exonerated her to say that she was illegally removed. So we know that she is the official leader of opposition.
Okay, can you explain, maybe if you have an understanding of what the leader of the opposition will be, what will what would that entail?
No, I must be honest with you. I do not know. I am willing to come to you with details if you want details. But obviously, we know that the opposition's role in parliament is to come up with an alternative agenda to the governing party's agenda. An agenda that responds to our urgent and immediate needs, but even beyond that, to the long-term sustainability of the country. Having said that, I must hasten to say it is not necessarily what we've been treated to oppose for the sake of opposition, but is to come up with a bankable political agenda for the country. Because you will appreciate that if there is political upheaval, the profile of the country gets eroded, and there is no investor that will come into the country to invest if there is no political stability. So it is also critical that the opposition plays a constructive role in nation building.
Okay, that brings us to the issue of Poland. There's been many people and even statements from your party, from the new SG about Poland. Can you give us the latest update on Poland? What is the way forward for the MDC as far as Poland is concerned?
Well, you'll appreciate that I speak for Dr. Khuphe. If you want to engage the SG, I can arrange that for you. You'll be able to talk to him. So, to the extent that you want to know about his statements, you will have to talk to him.
Okay, but as far as Poland is concerned, what is going to happen? You were in Poland yourself. Is this something that is going to be decided by the MDC, or is this something that is now a done deal because you're already in Poland?
I want you to appreciate that Poland is a gathering of presidential candidates of 2018 with a clear agenda to find consensus on the best way forward for our country. So I am sure that given the right environment and the right platform, the party will discuss these matters, and I do not see them being adverse to the platform. I am sure that at the right time, the party will pronounce itself on these matters.
Okay, now since we've got two people who are presidential candidates in the MDC, what is going to happen? Who's going to represent MDC in Poland?
Yeah, you need to accept that it is a gathering not of political parties, but of presidential candidates. So there shouldn't be any confusion as to who's representing which party, because it's a gathering of presidential candidates.
Okay, that means both Nelson Chamisa and Dr. Khuphe will be in Poland if Chamisa agrees to join Poland.
Yeah, really, it's up to, remember, the invitation from Poland's point of view, as I understand it, is that all presidential candidates are invited to come and participate. So if anyone elects to be part of that gathering, they don't so much bother themselves with which party do you come from and who else is from that party. The qualification is that you were 2018 or you participated in the 2018 presidential election.
Okay, what happens if Nelson Chamisa continues to reject Poland and the majority of the members of the party continue to reject Poland? Is Dr. Khuphe going to stay in Poland?
I do not know.
Okay, so that is something that is still to be decided.
I have not canvassed this with her, so it will be presumptuous of me, therefore, to say anything either way. I have really not canvassed this with her. But as I have said, my understanding, having spoken to a large constituency of our party, no one is adverse to a gathering that wants to find solutions for our country. Because you must understand, the issue of Pollard was politicized by certain individuals for political expedience. It was really for their political capital. But in reality, even you seated here, you are not against the idea of Zimbabweans sitting down to find solutions. I don't think you are. I don't think any sane person, let me put it to you that way, will be against people sitting down and discussing. So I don't want us to sit here and try and create another unnecessary narrative that there might be this or that. The truth of the matter is that if you take out the politics and you bring the issue of Pollard on its merit, no one is against Pollard in Zimbabwe and abroad.
Right, Mr. Khaliphani Phugeni, I think I've covered my questions for today. I want us to come back very frequently and keep it short. Is there anything that you want to say before we close?
No, there is nothing much except to say we may not be able to be responding to each and every malicious article out there. So bear with us if we're not able to do that, but the judgment will be implemented in its entirety. And there is no desire to in any way, shape or form deviate from the goals of our movement, that is to emancipate our people from the suffering which they are going through.
Thank you very much, sir. And I will have you again back very, very soon.
Thank you.